Hello there, it's a quick video. I'd like to show you how you can make better quality AI tools. So tools that have higher quality output, they have more unique output and longer output as well. So over the normal word limits as well. And you can use this obviously to make better tools to publish on our website if you're interested, or just to use yourself. First thing, as you can see, the tools, these are the tools that are most popular on our website. They're in kind of order of the downloads. All these tools have multiple prompts, so basically they break the task down into more than one prompt, and that gets better quality output from the AI. So each kind of prompt is like one thought, if you like. So if you're asking it to do a lot within a single prompt, the quality is just not going to be as good. So here's an example of a tool that we've made. You can see it breaks the task down into 3 different prompts instead of a single prompt. This tool actually gives you ideas for other AI tools. Is that right? Real estate, we call it a estate agency, yeah. But I'll put in an industry, and the first prompt will break it down into separate tasks. All the different tasks that are involved in that industry. So let's just choose the first one. And then puts together a list of all the inputs and outputs that a tool like that would have, and then it describes for you how you'd actually make that into a tool. So there's the inputs and outputs for a tool like this. So the data, information about the property, then what prompts you'd use, stuff, so on and so on. And then here it comes with like an actual description of how you'd make it with that AI tool. So you can imagine if I asked it to do all of that in one go, that's quite a lot for it to do. It wouldn't really do a very good job. But by breaking it down to 3 separate prompts, we get a better output. Here's another example. So I've set this one up just to show you. So I asked it to do 5 social media posts about healthy eating. We get the response back. It's 5 prompts, hasn't used emojis, and they're all quite small. It sets to use the larger model, so it's allowed to do up to 1,500 words, but obviously as you can see it hasn't. Each prompt is quite short, and then I've done the same again, but this time I've split it into 2 prompts. So first I just asked it for 5 ideas. As you can see, it's given me 5 ideas here for posts, and then we have what's called a processing block. So we split those 5 ideas down to 5 separate prompts. So you can see it's just split the numbered list into 5 separate items. And then I say write a post about this. So it's got basically runs a prompt 5 times. It's split it up. And this is just the first one. So on the first, it's included emojis, it's included numbers. It's given them like a bunch of different tips, and that's just within one prompt. That's just one post. And then there's the second post there. So we've got, and I've set it to only be 300 words each post as well. So it's not because of the token limit, if that makes sense, because it's still 5 lots of 300. It's just because we've broken the task down, we've made it easier. So we've split it into multiple thoughts, if you like, by using that processing block. So that's, anything the way you split it down. So all tools should really have at least 2 prompts. If it's only got 1 prompt, it's not really a tool, it's just a prompt, isn't it? Whereas a tool is something, we like to think of a tool as something where it breaks the task down. So that will definitely help. 2 or more prompts on each tool, and potentially use a processing block as well if you need to split a list up into multiple items. The next thing you can do as well, which also improves the quality a lot, is you can include examples within your tool. That makes the output more unique, and also gives you more control over the output as well. Being unique in itself is valuable because you're giving it stuff that the user couldn't just get from ChatGPT or from elsewhere. It's in the format that you like, and if it's something you know a lot about, then you can guide it with better examples. So if we go to the very last prompt, you can see here I've given it like a complete example there. So I've broken it down into like 6. Well, I've wrote 6-step plan, but I've actually given it 8 there. But yeah, you get the idea. I've broken it down into separate instructions, and it's followed my lead basically. It's done the same thing, but for the new output. So by giving it examples, it's what they call multi-shot learning. There's like 0 shots, no examples. 1 shot is 1 example, and multi-shots is where you give it multiple examples. It does really well from that. A lot of the studies where it did well on like university exams or college exams and stuff like that, they actually gave it loads of examples within the prompt, so they're all multi-shot learning examples. So yeah, you just include the example within the prompt and say here's an example, and then you tell it like in the example, and it will do it. And that will, again, it will improve the quality, and I think the uniqueness, making it more unique, the output is quite valuable as well in itself, makes your tool unique. Another way that you can add examples or that you can add knowledge is using what we have, an embeddings block. So it's, if you know much about embeddings, basically it's a way of storing text, and then the AI can kind of search for it. So with this embeddings block, let's say you're making one that does tweets in the style of someone famous, what you do, you just import, you can use a file, like 100 tweets from that person, and then we do a search here. So we'd say all the tweets about financial freedom. We'd say how many we want back, so we turn the top 5. What it'll do is it'll look through all those tweets and it'll find the 5 most relevant examples, and then you would then include them within your prompt. So again, it's just including examples still, but it's picking out the best examples out of like 100 for that tool. And the other way you can use this is just knowledge. So instead of having 100 examples of tweets, you might have like information from a guide or a legal document or something, and split it up into chunks and paste it in here, and get the chunks, the most relevant text, as many words that fit into 1,000 words or whatever you want to squeeze into your prompt. So yeah, store the knowledge in there and use that, or store examples in there and use that. That's pretty much it. Those are the main things really. Split it up into separate prompts, and give it examples, and then if you need to, use a processing block. The processing block's how you can get longer output as well. Like in that example there, you can see obviously the total output here could be a lot longer, so you can ask it for like 12 chapter ideas for a book. Use a processing block to split that up into 12 separate chapters for like a non-fiction book where the story doesn't have to follow, and then you get to write each chapter. But the main two things are the multiple prompts and the examples. Yeah, I hope you find that useful. It wasn't too technical, but yeah, use them and you'll get better quality tools.